Hey guys, some stupid sketch show guy here with another video, and today's video is going to be a bit different from usual, as I'm going to be talking about a video game series that has nothing to do with dinosaurs and everything to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, as I'm going to be talking about One Night at Flumpty's, which some say is the best Five Nights at Freddy's fan game series ever made. In my opinion, I think it definitely is. This group of silly inside joke characters definitely has a good place in my heart. I remember watching gameplay videos of the first two games all the way back in 2015.
All there? Why is this a thing?
God damn it!
And with the third game's release less than a week ago, I thought it'd be great to go back in time and talk about all the One Night at Flumpty's characters. And what better way to do that than a tier list? Now, some rules to go over. I'm not going to be including any of the Flumpty clones because that would take a lot of work and is very confusing. So, instead I'm going to be talking about the main characters, and the only exceptions to the Flumpty clone rule are Empty Bempty and Golden Flumpty, because Golden Flumpty appeared in all three games previously and is not present in Flumpty Night, and Empty Bempty because he's technically a different character. He's not a Flumpty, he's Empty Bempty. Besides that, let's get started with D tier. So in D tier, I'm first going to be talking about the aforementioned Empty Bempty and Golden Flumpty. Empty Bempty gets on here just because, well, he's an Easter egg. He's just a fun little hidden thing, not really much else to him. Golden Flumpty also goes in D tier because I'm just not really as much of a fan as him. He's just Golden Freddy, you know? He's just a Golden Freddy character mixed with Shadow Teddy from Persona 4. I mean, he's scary looking, but there's not really much else to him. Also, him being relegated to a hallucination doesn't really help with his ranking here. He just kind of feels less creative than the other characters. And also, Champ and Chump, who didn't really have a chance to be fleshed out due to the fact that they're a part of the now famously cancelled 1 Week at Flumpty's. They're alright, but they're just an inferior version of the Lord and Savior Eyesore. They're just corpses, you know? They have okay lore, but besides that, not really a huge fan of them. But that's it for D tier. For C tier, there's only really one character that really fits this mold, and that would be the Owl. The Owl is just an inferior version of the Beaver from the first game. I just think the Beaver was a slightly goofier and better character, and also, the Owl doesn't have knives for feet, and nothing can beat that. The only thing the Owl has an advantage over from the Beaver is that, gameplay-wise, the Owl is better, as the Owl is the only character that is immune to turning off the lights, because, well, he can see in the dark, which is pretty creative, and also the whole vent system thing is more creative than just the Foxy mechanic. But, as it stands, the Owl is just an inferior Beaver, and thus stays at C tier. As we go to B tier, B stands for Beaver and Bowel, which are going to be the main ones in this tier. First, we'll start with the Bowel, or the Beavowl, which is a hybrid of both the Beaver and the Owl, as it's pretty cool. I do like the Chimera design here, with the Owl on the right side and the Beaver on the left side, and also the Beaver taking over the mouth. It's a pretty cool monster, and it also wraps things together with a nice little bow, as canonically, after the Beaver fell in the toilet, the Owl fell in the urinal, and thus, we have the Bowel. Alongside, we have the OG, the knife-footed Beaver, which, although he's just a simple toilet joke, I can't help but find that a little amusing. Also, the fact that the only reason he is a beaver is because that's what Jonachrome's friend thought would be a perfect animal to fit on a toilet. That's it. It's just great. I love it. Along with them, we have the Redman. Now, the Redman's design would be enough to put him in A tier, but unfortunately, I just don't really like his gameplay. Although I do enjoy him in One Night at Flumpty's 1 with him glitching up all the cameras, in One Night at Flumpty's 2, his pop-up thing is basically useless. Like, if you died to the Redman in the second game, you're an idiot. You deserve it. He does get some redemption in the third game with his incredibly creepy and awesome jump scare and the fact that he takes up the furnace, but as it stands, he stands basically in B+. Great design, but the gameplay that he has and the gameplay roles, they just make him fall just shy. While B does stand for Beaver and Bowel, it does not stand for Birthday Boy Blam, who is the only character in A tier. Birthday Boy Blam is great. He's one of the OGs, going alongside Flumpty Bumpty ever since the original comics that inspired the whole game series. His gameplay, while nothing really special, is nice enough, and of course, his Kevin Jr. transformations. That does give him a slight edge. I mean, look at this stylish young chap. As well as that, his jump scare animations I've always thought were very nice and clean. They turn him from this simple and almost cute-looking boxy character into a freaky Lovecraftian creature, which I think is great and fits to One Night at Flumpty's strengths. All these goofy-looking joke characters that can turn sinister within an instant. It's great, but with all these simple nuances, he outdoes most of the other characters, but is just shy of S tier. And now on to S tier, the greatest characters in all of One Night at Flumpty's. Starting out with the OG himself, Flumpty Bumpty. Originally, he was going to be an A tier, despite being the genius orchestrator of all the chaos in all of these games, and also being pretty hilarious. I mean, he's an egg who's immune to the plot and can transcend time and space. Gameplay-wise, he was one of the easiest to manage. He's just slightly unpredictable and will just show up randomly. Besides that, he's pretty easy to handle. But then came Flumpty's night in One Night at Flumpty's 3, and that truly turned him up to 11. He encapsulates what's great about One Night at Flumpty's. Despite being so goofy looking, when the time is right, he can turn freaky. I mean, look at all these designs. He can turn into a creepy spider. He can gain a bunch of eyes. He can develop all these razor-sharp teeth. All of these amazing and Lovecraftian designs, all within this goofy, silly-looking, all-powerful egg. It's ridiculous, but it also kind of works. Perfect horror comedy. Exactly what One Night at Flumpty's is about. And that's what puts Flumpty Bumpty up in S tier. But who shall accompany the great Flumpty Bumpty? Well, first, it would have to be Grunkfist. Of course, there are the simple and funny reasons why he's great. For one, it's his name, Grunkfist. Jonachrome just came up with it out of the blue, and you know what? It works. Also, he's totally better than Ronald McDonald, as said by the great creator himself. As well as that, though, Grunkfist makes up a lot for having some of the funnest game mechanics, in my opinion. In the first one, every time you flip the camera, he gets gradually closer, and I think that's freaky and cool. And then, in the second game, his patience meter is also quite fun. It takes a bit of a spin on the music box mechanic, and instead kind of does the opposite. Instead of you having to constantly wind up the music box to make sure that he doesn't attack you, he's going to attack you, and you better be prepared once that patience meter runs out. And also the fact that he does a lot more damage than most of the other characters. It's just great. He just has some of the funnest and most interesting mechanics in the game, and I just love the way he's designed. Most creepy clowns, you know, they kind of fall into the same category, but there are some that truly are unique, and I think Grunkfist is quite a unique-looking freaky clown with his purplish skin and craggly teeth. Just a great character. But nothing beats the eyesore. The eyesore, I might be a bit biased on considering this is a dinosaur YouTube channel, but I also love puns. That's the other thing. And the eyesore is just perfect. Get it? It's great. It's great. It just plays to all of my personal biases. As well as that, a dinosaur of corpses is both creepy, yet it's kind of funny. I mean, Flumpty literally killed 20 people and turned them into a dinosaur. It's morbidly hilarious. As well as that, I love the fact that this character was merely created just because of fan speculation. The pile of eyes was originally just supposed to be a part of Grunkfist's mechanic, cueing you on how many times you had to flip the camera. But then people speculated that it might be a character. So, Jonachrome did it, and he turned it into, in my opinion, the best Flumpty character there is. The Eyesore. And it's not for any good objective reason, it's just because I love dinosaurs, and I love puns, and I love this design. So in total, best Flumpty character, the Eyesore, all the way. And that concludes the Flumpty tier list. Here it is in all its glory. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to leave what you think are the best Flumpty characters in the comments below. Give me your own tier list. Maybe make a video of your own if you really want to. Now, I might be taking this game a little too seriously by ranking these characters so diligently. And I get it, they're jokes. But you know what? This game was a part of my childhood, you know? Along with the Five Nights at Freddy's phase, there were the FNAF fan games just as much. So, I love these games. And I can't thank Jonachrome enough for making these games and making all these funny characters that took on a life of their own, even if he really didn't expect it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time.